Okay, welcome everybody to Wednesday evening. My name is Marie, and I'm one half of the Exhale Awakening, and somewhere on your screen, and I'm not going to point to Sharyn, and she's the other half of the Exhale Awakening. And it is Wednesday evening for us, although I know that either watching the recording or even in real time, this may not be evening for you. We are here. We're here in that midweek point. We're here to just take a pause, to take some time to stop, to put the to-do lists, to put the stresses, to put all or to put the joys of the week even to one side and take some time for you. And that's what this is. It's time for you. Our sessions always have the same structure. We do 4 breath styles. Each breath style opens with birdsong and closes with silence. We use the birdsong and silence as part of the medicine because the birdsong is that ancient wisdom that if the birds are singing, there are no predators. And our brains still remember that. We still hold that ancient wisdom inside. So when we hear birdsong, our nervous systems react as nervous systems always did to birdsong. The silence is the same. It is that feeling of safety, that moving into the parasympathetic nervous system, but also giving our body a chance to do the things that our body needs to do. And some of that is building new neural pathways. So although we're in rest and we're in silence, our body's not. Our body uses that time to do the things that with the noise and busyness and all the things of modern life, our body hasn't a chance to do. So that's what you are offering your body in this session. We have one rule. Our rule is be comfortable. And we do invite you to do everything you need for your physical comfort. So it may be blankets in case you get cold. It certainly will be finding somewhere quiet and comfortable to be. And it also will be if when we're doing the session, you feel like moving or that is absolutely invited for your comfort. The one thing we would ask you don't do is get up. Because when we do breath work of any kind, sometimes we can get lightheaded. We change the internal chemistry of our body, and sometimes that can lead to lightheadedness. So you are at home, things happen. You may have to get up, but please, if you do, take your time. Allow your breathing to come back to its natural rhythm, and then just be with it for a couple of moments until you're sure you're steady before you get back up. Our breath styles in this session, we're going to work on balance. Friday, the wheel turns again and we reach Beltane, yeah, and we begin to bring in that the beginnings of that summer energy. So, but we're going to work in this session on balance. So we're going to change things up a little bit for people who come off, and we're going to start with coherence. We're going to move into gentle nose CCB with some soft breath holds through it. We're then going to do alternate nostril breathing, and we're going to finish with awareness. So we're going to just turn things around slightly. Yeah. As I said, those breath styles, there may have been one that sort of caused you to go, oh, I don't like that one. I really don't like that one. And yes, the invitation, however, is that you try it, because just because you did it in another session or at another time and didn't like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the same in this session. So the invitation is that you give everything a try and you stay with it, because this is breath work. And by its nature, and because it's called breath work, it does sometimes bring us, and this nearly contradicts to be comfortable, but it doesn't. It brings us to places where maybe there is some discomfort, because the breath can begin to move things, begin to change things, and it can bring in some elements of discomfort. The invitation is, first of all, in all of it, to listen to your body. Always, always, always listening to your body. What we offer is invitational. You and your body knows best what you need in this session. But our invitation to you is, if something comes up that feels a little less comfortable, that you sit with it, Not that you push through it, not that you try and get past the discomfort, but that you just sit with it and you observe it. And in that sitting with it and observing it, sometimes things begin to move, sometimes things have a message of sorts for you, and just allowing space for that, knowing all the time that you're in charge of your session. You are 100% in charge of your session. So at any time, bring your breathing back to its natural breath rhythm, or indeed to another of the breath styles that we have introduced in the session, and stay there while it's comfortable. Now, if it is a thing that something comes up that maybe is a little less comfortable, even sitting with it for a short time and then coming back to your natural breath rhythm, and then maybe going back and sitting with it again and coming back, knowing that you can come and go. And it's when we sit with those edges, sit beside those edges, that the breath gets to do its magic. So if that feels like something in this session that's possible for you, and if it comes up, then the invitation is to stay with it. And also not searching for it, and not feeling in any way cheated if it doesn't happen, because the breath's very wise and we don't always need to know what's happening. And the beauty of it is we don't always know what's happening. So our job in this session is to breathe and to rest. And the breath and the body will do the rest. And if you need to know, you'll know. And if you don't need to know, you won't know. Okay, all that being said, it's time to get yourself comfortable. You can do this seated or lying down. If you're seated, make sure you're supported. Maybe your head especially, because sometimes, we'll be here 40 minutes. Sometimes it can become quite heavy. So making sure you're properly supported. If you're lying down, making sure the pillow or whatever's under your head isn't too high so that the breath can move freely. And then just beginning to leave behind, not to leave behind, beginning to allow what you've brought to the session to soften. So noticing first. Noticing how you're arriving, and knowing that however you're arriving is absolutely perfect. And maybe taking a moment to adjust if you're not quite comfortable yet, just checking in to see how comfortable you are. And if necessary, just beginning to adjust. And then we're going to begin with coherence breathing. So we're going to begin with that balanced breathing. Beltane is about that balance, that doing and being. So our coherence breathing is when we match our inhale to our exhale. And you might want to count. You might want to count at the beginning to get yourself into it. And maybe you'll count 3 for your inhale and 3 for your exhale, or 4, or 5, or whatever feels comfortable. And maybe you'll try a few counts just to see. And coming at this like a beginner almost. Doesn't matter what your count was the last time. Finding your count now in this moment. You might use your fingers to keep that count. Bringing each finger to the tip of your thumb. You might find a count in the music. Or you might just set the intention and allow your body to find the count without you having to control it. And as you breathe and your breaths come into balance, noticing how you're breathing. Are you breathing through your nose or through your mouth? And if you're breathing through your mouth, maybe gently bringing it to your nose, if that's possible, and it's not always possible. And keeping the inhale and the exhale soft and gentle. And Beltane is all about bringing the balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. Between the inhale and the exhale. The doing of the inhale and the letting go of the exhale. And neither is better than the other. We can't have one without the other. We can't have the inhale without the exhale. And equally with the energies. Balance between our masculine energy that acts and moves and gives and builds and tends, and our feminine energy that receives and knows and rests. Keeping the inhale and the exhale soft and gentle. And maybe taking a minute to just notice, is the count still right? Is the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale still the right length? Maybe it needs to be a little longer, or maybe it feels forced and needs to be a little shorter, and honouring that. And just noticing as your breaths become balanced, if that's making a change to your whole body. Maybe you can feel some of that balance. And maybe you can't, but knowing that it's there as you breathe like this. And we're in the last 90 seconds, so if your attention has drifted, gently bringing it back. And gently balancing that inhale and that exhale. The gentle doing of the inhale, and then the letting go of the exhale. I'm going to move into the first time of silence and just going into the silence to rest. There's nothing else to do.
And as the birdsong brings the silence to a gentle close, just noticing how it felt to be in silence. Maybe it was your first silence of the day. Just noticing how your body responded. Maybe, of course, you've been in silence already. Then you can compare, not to judge, but just to notice, just to become aware. And as we explore this theme of balance in our next segment, we're going to breathe with a connected nose breath. So breathing in and out through the nose, without any gaps, without any pauses at the top or at the bottom. There's no need to pull, just be aware of the inhale and the exhale. Notice them. And after a couple of minutes, I'm going to invite you to a very gentle breath hold. And just hold the breath. We're going to do it on an exhale, so just hold the breath with empty lungs. Just gently, there's no need to push at all. And what you're looking to see is the balance between action, that constant breath in and out through the nose, and then the inaction, the resting, where you're in a hold. So as the music begins, just turn your attention to your breath. And begin to connect the breath just gently at the top and at the bottom. And all that means is that your pause is as short a pause as it can possibly be. Remember, just gentle inhales, gentle exhales through the nose, nice and connected in a circle of breath that doesn't end. The The inhale becomes the exhale. The exhale becomes the inhale. Find your own rhythm. Feeling the action-oriented effort of the breath, gentle though it is. The movement in and out. On your next exhale, just allowing your breath to pause on empty lungs. No need to push the hold beyond what feels comfortable. Whenever you feel ready, taking a gentle breath in and out. Returning to your natural rhythm for a breath or two. Before returning back to the connected breath, the circular breath, your inhale becoming your exhale becoming your inhale. In and out through the nose. Remembering the invitation into balance, balancing our actions and our active nature with the rest and with our quiet nature. And on your next exhale, the bottom of your lungs, just allowing yourself a gentle hold. Again, no pushing with the hold, as long as it feels comfortable. Whenever you need to, taking a gentle breath in and out again, returning to your natural rhythm. Staying with your natural rhythm for the last 40 seconds or so, and just reflecting on that difference. The difference between an active breath and a gentle, quiet hold. just resting and reflecting in the silence once again.
And as the birdsong begins again, just reflecting on that silence and how that silence felt. Maybe it felt different to the first silence, but equally maybe it felt exactly the same. And just noticing that. And for our next breath style, we're going to continue with the balance. And we're going to do alternate nostril breathing, where we're going to balance the two sides of our brain. So the right feminine being side with the left masculine action side. And to do this, you might want to use your little finger and your thumb, so curling the other three fingers in. And we're going to begin by closing the right nostril. Closing your right nostril and breathing in your left nostril, and at the top swapping. So closing that left nostril, breathing out through the right nostril. And staying here, breathing in through the right nostril, and again at the top, swapping. And breathing out through your left nostril. And then in through your left nostril, and always swapping at the top. The top, swapping and breathing out through your right nostril. And finding your own rhythm with it. But always changing nostril at the top after the inhale. And then exhale, inhale on the other side. And just feeling into that. still keeping the inhale and the exhale soft and gentle. And maybe you notice that one side feels easier than the other, and just noticing that. Always swapping nostril at the top of the inhale. And maybe you feel your hand getting stiff and you want to take a break. And whenever you do, just allowing your hand to rest and taking a few natural breaths. Then going back and starting again. Closing off your right nostril, breathing in through your left. Swapping at the top. And then exhaling and inhaling and swapping at the top again. Just focusing on the breathing and allowing the breath to bring the brain into balance. And if you've let the pattern fall, just beginning again. Breathing in, swapping nostrils, exhaling and inhaling before you swap nostrils again. Always knowing that you can take a break at any time, and then coming back to the breathing. Keeping those breaths slow and gentle, no rush. And when you get to the next exhale through your left nostril, just letting your hands fall into your lap and let your breathing come back to its natural rhythm. And as we approach the silence, just noticing what that feels like. And then resting again in the silence.
And then the birdsong begins once again and brings the silence to a close, just reflecting on that silence. Noticing how you feel at the end of each breath. Just allowing yourself to rest in the silence. And we're trying something different in this last segment. So the invitation is, as with all awareness, breath awareness, just to be aware of what is happening in your body, how you're feeling, any sense of discomfort or comfort, any thoughts that are running through your mind. Any sensations that you might be feeling, just noticing how the breath is moving your body. And to help you along with this, for a change, we have a track with some words. So maybe just enjoy the music, hear the words, and just keep your attention on your breath.
Out through the storm, in through the rain, back to the bone.
Keep bringing your attention back to your breath, just your natural rhythm.
Hands on your ribs, feel the night breathe, slow as a deer crossing the leaf, dark in your chest, soft as peat, light at the edge of your own heartbeat. Inhale the black, hold it a while, exhale the gold, let it unwind. Inhale the flame, hold it for me, exhale the tide, set yourself free. Rise and rest, rise and rest, open ember in your chest. Rise and rest, rise and rest, hold the shadow, bless the breath.
Keep bringing your attention back to your breath, gently rising and falling.
Alone, knees in the rain, one palm open, one palm plain, war in the blood, peace in the bone, both of them lead you home. Inhale the moon, hold it a while, exhale the sun, out through a smile. Inhale the wild, hold it for me, exhale the stream, set yourself free. Rise and rest, rise and rest, open ember in your chest. Rise and rest, rise and rest, hold the shadow, bless the breath. When the drum goes low, let your spine go still. When the drum climbs high, let your lungs get filled. North wind female move as one tide.
Let your breath be gentle. Let your awareness be keen. So you notice what's happening in your body.
Now let the dusk sit by the door. Now let the frost melt and move on. What was split comes back whole. What was lost returns to the soul. Inhale the spark, hold it a while. Exhale the ash, soften the mile. Inhale the blaze, hold it for me. Exhale the stream, set yourself free. Rise and rest, oaken ember in your chest. Rise and rest, rise and rest. Hold the shadow, bless the breath. In through the reed, out through the stone. In through the reed, back to the bone. And ember, night and day. Breathe it in, breathe it away.
And letting the silence support you now.
And as the bird song begins again, just reflecting on that silence and how that silence felt. And then maybe reflecting on the whole session and on how you feel now. And then beginning to consider coming back to your physical space. So maybe bringing in some gentle movement and very much listening to what your body wants at this point. Maybe your fingers, toes, wrists, your shoulders, your head. Maybe a stretch and a yawn. Beginning to connect again with that surface under you. And if your eyes are still closed, gently opening them and just looking round the space that you're in. The familiar things. And then when you're ready, remembering that you're also in a Zoom room and making your way back to that Zoom room.
And as ever, there's no rush for you to get back in. We have time, and as ever, whilst you are making your way back in, I'll just bring your attention to some notices that we've popped into the chat. And I want to go backwards, so I want to start by just letting you know about our extra little session on Friday at 8 p.m. So the 1st of May, Friday, is Beltane, and we have our As the Light Changes seasonal session where we do a little bit of ritual, a little bit of breath, and a little bit of sharing about the energy of the season that we're moving into. Now, the link to get a ticket at certainly £11 is there in the chat. But if you are part of our community, even our free community, then this is our gift to you. So if you are not already a part of the community and you would like to come and join us on Friday, then pop up to the top of the links, and you'll see there a link to the Exhale library, the community there, where you can join for free, and then you can come and join us on Friday for the Beltane celebration. And in the library, the Exhale library, and on YouTube, you'll find the recording of this session. So if you want to repeat, like all of it or part of it, we break it down into 4. So you can do just little aspects of the breath. Then you'll find those on YouTube and in our community. And then I've given you details of our ticketed events. So our 2-hour workshop on the 4th Friday of the month, which we've just had. So the next one for that is at the end of May. And then the 3-hour mini retreat that we do, we'll be holding in a couple of weeks, looking at or sharing the space with the hawthorn tree. And finally, I really want to tell you about our retreat in June. So for 3 days, the 5th to the 7th of June, we're holding a retreat in the rolling countryside of North Yorkshire. So just north of York, we'll be meeting. You can find all the details. I don't need to tell you more. You can find all the details on our ticket link there. If you've got any questions, just reach out and let us know. And I guess that wasn't the final thing. If you have enjoyed this and you would like to leave us a review, we love getting them. Our website now has 140 something reviews on it. We're really grateful for every single one of them. And yeah, so if you would like to leave us a review, we love to receive them. So thank you. And all of that said, just to say, even though this has been a gentle breath work, allow yourself some space to integrate further than we can give you in this 1 hour. So just keep an eye on yourself over the next day or so. If you can, get a good night's sleep. Drink plenty of water, the usual things, eat something nourishing, and maybe also eat some chocolate. It's also really good for integration. And yeah, just generally take care of yourself. And we look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Take care.